음악과 오디오를 즐기는 가이드 샘튜브 오승열입니다. 저희 굉장히 반갑고 관심이 많은 부스에 와 있습니다. 미래는 하이엔드 오디오 쇼에 윌슨베네시 쇼의 저 부스에 와서 오늘 이 크레이크하고 저 루크 패밀리, 밀레스 패밀리와 인터뷰를 하는 시간을 잠깐 마련했습니다. 자, 먼저 루크 밀레스를 먼저 소개하겠습니다. Hello, Luke.
Hi, Sam. Thank you for visiting.
And there is a Craig, the establisher of the 윌슨베네시 company. 자, 그러면 루크, 이제 설립자의 아드님인 루크한테 이제 질문을 좀 해보도록 하겠습니다. It's very nice to see you here, and you know that 윌슨베네시 is very unique and very popular in some ways. So the extreme way is very popular in Korean audiophiles. You are hearing about the news.
Yes, I've seen your channel. Thank you for joining us today, Sam.
Thank you. And from when? So how long you are participating the Hi-Fi Munich show, Munich Fair? Mm-hmm. When was the first time?
The 윌슨베네시 presentations in Germany began in Frankfurt in the 1990s.
Frankfurt first.
Mm-hmm. Would have been Craig Milnes and Christina Milnes at that point, who are the managing director and design director of 윌슨베네시. Mm-hmm. And we've been participating in the Munich High End since before it was at this venue here, so for almost 20 years.
20 years, wow. So could I ask that how is the atmosphere is different from, you are also very acquainted with the United States fairs, mm-hmm. and Munich Fair too. I think that they are quite different. So how do you feel the atmosphere in Europe is quite different? What kind of thing is different from the USA fair?
So it's right to say the Munich High End is now the largest international show in the world. Yeah. And when you come to Munich High End, there is really something for everybody to experience. Yeah. So if you're a loudspeaker person and that's your obsession, you can see everything here, mm-hmm. from horns right down to dynamically driven drive units like a 윌슨베네시 loudspeaker. It's a very, very well organized show. It runs over 4 days, mm-hmm. and the nice thing I think about the Munich High End is that for the most part, manufacturers are presented with the same opportunities. Yeah. We have very similar exhibition spaces. Okay. So it's a little different from other shows around the world where perhaps people have smaller or larger hotel rooms. Right. But it's always nice to be here in Europe. We're a British company and we're very proudly European.
Could you tell which people prefer your products? USA people or European people? It may be some stupid question.
Well, 윌슨베네시 has been founded in 1989 by my parents, mm-hmm. Christina and Craig. Yeah. And we are now truly a global company. So we exhibit right across Asia, mm-hmm. In the US, as you mm-hmm. rightly point out, mm-hmm. but also here in Europe. We have distribution all over the world, including our French distributor who is with us here in the audience today. So we are presented now on a global scale. Yeah.
So I will regard it all of the global wide people like your products. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So in Korean also there are so many fans of you, especially the Craig Milles is a very frontier of this kind of disappearing loudspeakers in the high-end audio field. So what makes difference? Just pick just one point that what is the quite different thing of 윌슨베네시 the products from other high-end audiophile speaker, high-end audio brand loudspeakers. Shortly, what is your strong point, the most strong point of your products?
Okay. So 윌슨베네시 is a brand that is synonymous with materials research. Mm-hmm. So right at the outset, when 윌슨베네시 started developing its first product, there was a lot of research done into the use of carbon fiber composite materials. Yeah. and the objective was to control energy across audio products. So within the tone arm, obviously those needs were quite different from something like a loudspeaker. But today, in 2023, we are still pioneering in that regard.
Yeah.
We still use carbon fiber composites, but more recently we've done a pan-European research project, 4.5 years, called the Suchi project. And what that's delivered now is the next generation of materials technology in terms of the enclosures within our loudspeakers are now made using biocomposite materials. So flax, hemp,
very
cork,
special,
and bioresins. So the outcomes of the Sushi project, at the moment you're seeing them within the Fibonacci series, which is our reference loudspeaker line, but that will continue then to roll out into other products. The GMT is here this weekend, the turntable that we're launching here in Munich, and in future you will see advances in that regard as well. So I think that we are a pioneer in terms of materials technology and its use and application for audio reproduction.
Okay. Mr. Craig, you established it 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, the 윌슨베네시가 loudspeaker as a pioneer of the high-end audio field. Could I ask your favorite products of your 윌슨베네시 products?
Well,
I see you.
It's like saying, who is your favorite child, your daughter or your son? And that is not an easy question for any father to answer. But I can say that what 윌슨베네시 have tried to do is every time they bring a new product to the market, they have tried to make something new that hasn't existed before. I remember when I took the turntable to Ken Kessler for the very first time.
Act 1,
And when I left his house, the first thing he said to me, he says, right, so what's coming next? And I said, oh, we've got a loudspeaker. And he said to me, the last thing the world needs is another loudspeaker. So we knew we had to do something unique and distinctive and something that had not been in the market before. And for that reason, that became our credo. And it's a very difficult credo because it stops you from doing things. You can easily bring out a new product, but you cannot bring out a new product that's novel every year. So for example, I can give you a consequence of that. In the history of 윌슨베네시, there's only ever been just 2 tables until this year. 2 turntables. That's where we started, record players. Yet we've only ever made 2 of them. And you can go to companies in this exhibition, you'll see 30 or 40 in a room of different turntables. We've only done 2. And each one has had unique things to add to the world that didn't exist before. The third one, which I'd like to talk to you about in the future, will add a lot of new things that have never been done before. But it's taken us over 15 years to do that. And a lot of investment. $500,000 investment from the government has gone into developing what we've developed. So that gives you some impression of the consequences of that design approach. It can be quite painful.
I still remember that your first one, Circle.
The first
make a huge hit in the US market. That's thrilling.
We have always tried to make an impression with what we do, without the collaborative efforts of a lot of people outside the company as well as within the company, we couldn't do that. We work with a lot of scientists and a lot of engineers across Europe, and that's been a key feature of the reason why we've been able to do these innovations, because we've got clever people to help us, collaboratively.
Okay, we'll introduce and make us some keen examine or keen review about your new GMT turntable. So please make a short how is it
different?
What is it? So actually,
the heart of any turntable is the drive. To date, there has been just 2 options that have dominated the market, which is a belt drive and a direct drive. There's only really one direct drive, and that's the Technics pancake type drive system, which is a mass-produced system. The belt drive, of course, always relies on a motor, which is driving at a very high speed and shoving lots of resonance into the system that they try to get rid of, but it's very difficult. And of course, the belt is all over the place. So the only way to really solve this problem is to make a motor that is specifically for the task. But to do that costs a fortune. However, it's the thing that we have committed ourselves to doing. So the motor is a patent applied for direct drive motor, which is the first and foremost, the first thing that I'd like to talk about. And then we have the tone arm, which is the titanium additive manufactured system, which is highly optimized and designed in terms of how nature would make it. If nature was to grow a tone arm, it would look like the Graviton. The Graviton can be actuated in terms of VTA remotely from the sitting position, not from the turntable. So you can actually hear what you're doing when you're changing the VTA remotely. And we can do that because we have an hydraulic chuck that we took from our CNC machine shop, which is accurate to a nanometer. So those adjustments can be executed with the precision of a microscope for the first time ever, not with a screw thread. Even a 40-point TPI screw thread will not give you the accuracy of the piezo device, which we use to actuate remotely with an app in a smartphone, which comes with the turntable. There's a lot of other things I can go into, but I think I ought to wait and do that in the main. But these are the main highlights of this system that I think immediately separate it from anything that's been done before.
I eagerly want to hear after the interview. So what's your, it may be my last question.
Sure.
Your next loudspeaker products planning? Could you tell me? To your
next loudspeaker products?
Is it too fast question or?
Well,
already...
it's at this point that Christina starts doing this. Cut, cut, cut. Now, what you've got to understand is this. We make loudspeakers that last a long time. Our first loudspeakers, they're still used today. They still command an extremely good price on the second-hand market when people do sell them for whatever reason they want sold. But the Geometry series lasted 10 years. The Odyssey series before it lasted 10 years, and we fully expect the Fibonacci, which has just literally come out,
evolving continuously,
will have 10 years life in it with no problem whatsoever. So as far as speaker development, we will always be working on loudspeaker development in the background, but we will not be introducing anything imminently in the near future that will interfere with what the Fibonacci is about. The Fibonacci is now 10 years for us of product development and the state-of-the-art material science developed by a 7.5 million euro R&D project that has gone into developing the material science that's in this product. So nothing new coming to the market immediately, but lots of work in the background.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so there are so many questions everybody know about your products and about the correctness, especially for you. But this is just a casual visiting and question. So later we may make some more questions. So hope very nice products so far. More and more new products we're expecting.
We are with some of the best people in Korea, with our partners in Korea, and they are always giving us feedback on what Korea is doing and the market that is, how it's being shaped and formed, and we always take notice of what our partners are doing in that market. And we work with them closely so that we can deliver products that they actually want to see in their market. We don't just say, this is it, go out and sell it. So with Sorry Shop, we have got a very strong partner.
Okay. As a fan of your products, I'll wait for your any good news from you, and
we will,
especially from next interview, the next review about the GMT. So thank you for your interview and answering my question. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, my
pleasure.
Good result in the Munich this year. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for
answering.
All of you, Luke and Christian too. Thank you.